So many of them. We'll never get through unseen.
Let's kick off our countdown with number 10. The Relic First Guardian is an upcoming single-player action RPG set in the dark, apocalyptic fantasy world of Arsiltis. The game revolves around the kingdom's downfall, caused by the destruction of a powerful relic, leaving it in ruins and overrun by darkness. Arsiltis feels alive despite its desolation, with NPCs offering quests, guidance, and pieces of the overarching narrative. Players assume the role of the last guardian tasked with recovering the relic's fragments to seal the void and restore balance. But it's not just about finding these pieces. It's about understanding their power, how they connect to the history of Arsiltis, and ultimately how to wield them to restore balance to the world. The semi-open world design invites exploration, offering a mix of linear and freeform elements. Players will traverse diverse environments, uncover hidden secrets, and engage in challenging dungeons while piecing together the story of Arsiltis. The narrative emphasizes a blend of lore-rich storytelling and player-driven discovery. Expect to encounter a variety of enemies and imposing bosses, each requiring skill and adaptability to overcome. That is why combat is one of the most important parts of the game, with 5 distinct weapon types catering to different playstyles. The sword and shield provide a balanced approach, long swords deliver heavy strikes at the cost of defense, and dual daggers emphasize speed and agility. For those who prefer raw power, two-handed axes simply obliterate enemies, while the battle staff introduces gravity magic for long-range cooldown-reducing attacks. Each weapon type features unique skills that can be tailored to fit personal preferences. I'm usually a dual daggers kind of player, love that quick and agile fighting style, but I might have to give the battle staff a try. The most interesting part is that unlike traditional RPGs, the Relic eliminates character levels. Instead, progression is achieved through runes, crafting, and gear upgrades. This system rewards exploration and experimentation, so your character grows organically based on your actions and discoveries. If you like Soulslikes and games with challenging gameplay, this might be the one to watch. The Relic First Guardian launches in 2025 for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC via Steam. And speaking of games to watch, let's move on to number 9. Ballad of Antara is an upcoming free-to-play fantasy action RPG set to debut sometime this year. The game is set in a devastated fantasy world plagued by the Grey Mist. Players will traverse diverse landscapes and the dimension of Para, a dangerous, otherworldly realm, while unraveling the truth behind these phenomena. Central to the story is Dromos, a mysterious girl on a mission to restore the world's balance. Gameplay revolves around emissaries, powerful entities that players can control. Each emissary belongs to a unique class with distinct abilities and combat styles. Combat emphasizes fluidity, allowing players to dynamically switch between 3 characters in a squad. The action leans towards tactical, skill-based gameplay, drawing comparisons to Genshin Impact but with a darker tone and potentially more interesting combat systems. Para's handcrafted levels are designed for discovery, with intricate level design promising hidden secrets and rewarding exploration as a core focus. Players can expect a mix of environmental storytelling, NPC interactions, and dangerous encounters with a variety of enemies. Though specific details about boss battles remain scarce, towering divine creatures are teased in the game's reveal trailer, suggesting epic-scale fights. Built using Unreal Engine 5, Ballad of Antara aims for cutting-edge visuals and immersive design. However, its free-to-play model, alongside the inclusion of optional microtransactions, raises concerns about potential monetization strategies. Will those microtransactions be purely cosmetic, or will they impact the gameplay? An online connection is likely required, though this has not been explicitly confirmed. Ballad of Antara is set to release in 2025 on PlayStation 5, PC, and mobile platforms. From the mysteries of a mist-shrouded world, let's travel back in time for our next contender. The Gothic 1 remake is set to bring the legendary RPG back to life with modern visuals and gameplay while staying true to the original's core elements. Developed by Alchemia Interactive, this remake promises a larger, more detailed world, with an expanded narrative that will delight both longtime fans and newcomers. The original Gothic was known for its open-world design and non-linear progression, allowing players to shape their journey through the mining colony of Corinus. The remake retains this freedom, featuring a dynamic world where NPCs have their own routines and player actions affect the environment. Visually, Gothic 1 Remake is a major upgrade thanks to Unreal Engine 5, delivering stunning graphics and immersive environments. Combat has been overhauled to feel smoother and more responsive, with players able to engage in melee, ranged, or magic-based combat. Magic has also been expanded with new spell schools, offering a wider range of abilities. The remake adds plenty of new content, from expanded locations to fresh side quests. The world has been made even larger, with revamped areas like the Old Camp and Tower of Zardos now filled with more interactive features and secrets to discover. Players can expect between 50 to 60 hours for a standard playthrough, with up to 120 hours for those exploring everything the game has to offer. The Gothic 1 remake is shaping up to be a fantastic opportunity for longtime fans to revisit a classic. And for newcomers, it's a chance to experience a piece of RPG history that helped shape the genre we know and love today. While the remake doesn't require prior knowledge of the original to enjoy, you can watch our video for more information about what Gothic 1 was like back in the day and what newcomers to the series should know. According to a popular Spanish gaming website, Gothic 1 Remake is slated for release in the first half of 2025 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines II is a first-person, narrative-driven action RPG set in the shadowy underbelly of a modern Seattle ruled by the Camarilla, a secretive vampire council. Developed by the Chinese Room, known for atmospheric storytelling, this single-player game promises a blend of compelling narrative choices, customizable gameplay styles, and immersive world-building. Players assume the role of Fire, an ancient elder vampire awakened in a city rife with political tension and supernatural intrigue. Accompanied by Fabian, a thin-blood vampire serving as a guide, the protagonist navigates a neo-noir thriller where every decision impacts alliances, enemies, and the fate of the city's clans. Gameplay revolves around strategic feeding, stealth mechanics, and visceral combat. The game introduces 3 distinct playstyles: stealth-focused, strategic stalker, melee-heavy action brawler, and the narrative-rich adventurer. Players can also customize Fire's appearance and abilities, with 4 clans available at launch. You've got the Bruja, known for their rebellious nature and raw physical power; the Tremere, masters of blood magic and manipulation; the Banu Hakim, enigmatic assassins downed by a strict code of honor; and finally, the Vintru, influential manipulators who often hold positions of power within vampire society. So, my choice of clan will determine not only my character's abilities, but also how I approach the world and interact with other vampires. And post-launch DLC will expand the clan roster even further. The combat system promises a fluid experience inspired by God of War and Shadow of Mordor, with a mix of melee, supernatural powers, and telekinetic abilities, but adjusted for a first-person perspective to enhance immersion and intensity. Encounters include human enemies, rival vampires, and bosses tied to the city's lore. The game aims to deliver a choice-driven narrative with multiple endings, doubling the variety seen in the original Bloodlines. The World of Darkness setting is just so rich with storytelling potential, and the original Bloodlines is still considered a cult classic to this day. But a lot has changed in the world of RPGs since then. We'll find out if Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 justifies the long wait when it launches in the first half of 2025 for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. Okay, let's switch gears from the shadowy world of vampires and blast off to a galaxy far, far away.
That's no moon.
Or at least, a galaxy controlled by mega corporations with questionable morals. At number 6, we have The Outer Worlds 2, a highly anticipated sequel to the 2019 sci-fi RPG from Obsidian Entertainment. Set in an alternate future dominated by mega corporations, the game blends RPG elements with dark humor and sharp satire. In this new chapter, the action shifts to an entirely different star system, with a fresh crew and a whole new set of adventures. The game's narrative revolves around galaxy-threatening rifts, with players taking on the role of an Earth Directorate agent tasked with uncovering the cause. The story is set amidst a war between 3 major factions: the Proctorate, a rebellious scientific religious order, and a corporate megapower. As you play, your decisions will shape who comes out on top, creating a unique experience based on your choices. Expect a bigger, more dynamic world this time around. The Outer Worlds 2 is reportedly twice as large as the original. Combat has been upgraded with smoother mechanics, new weapons, and more stealth options. The RPG elements return, allowing players to customize their character and engage in skill checks during dialogue. You'll also recruit companions, each with their own goals and stories, adding depth to the narrative. The game promises even better graphics and more engaging gameplay, with a blend of new biomes, quirky locations, and the same humorous tone that made the first game a hit. The Outer Worlds 2 will be released in 2025 on Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and PC. It will also be available on Xbox Game Pass on day one. Don't forget to check the pinned comment for the latest updates on all the games featured here. While you're there, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Your support helps us create more content like this. Alright, let's leave the corporate satire behind and journey back to a world of magic, lore, and deep storytelling. And at number 5, we have Avowed, an upcoming first-person RPG from Obsidian Entertainment set in the richly detailed world of Eora, the same universe as Pillars of Eternity. The setting of Avowed takes place in the Living Lands, a region of Eora where tensions are rising between powerful factions and ancient secrets lie buried within the landscape. Players will step into the boots of a customizable protagonist, known as the Watcher, with a variety of magical and combat skills at their disposal. The game promises deep role-playing elements, including branching dialogue choices, complex morality, impactful decisions that shape the fate of the world, and the opportunity to adventure with 2 companions in a party. The game will feature both close-quarter combat and spellcasting, giving players the option to engage in dynamic, strategic battles. The magic system is touted to be intricate, with players using elemental forces, arcane powers, and even enchanting items. What sets Avowed apart is Obsidian's dedication to narrative depth, where every choice you make is expected to have significant consequences, both immediate and long-term. The world feels alive, with factions vying for power, complex relationships, and histories shaping the story. With dazzling environments rendered by Unreal Engine 5, players are set to be fully immersed in a gripping narrative. The developers have also hinted at rich character development and a deep world filled with lore, but we'll have to see this for ourselves before making a definitive recommendation. Avowed is set for release on February 18th and will be available on PC, Xbox Series X and S, and Game Pass. Alright, let's shift gears from a world of magic and political intrigue to a game that's a bit more, well, let's just say it has a unique way of reminding you that time is precious. At number 4, we have Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, a new turn-based RPG coming in spring 2025, developed by Sandfall Interactive. The game's world is inspired by French Belle Epoque art and surrealist themes, creating a visually unique experience with a mix of beautiful and eerie places to explore. Think underwater cities and spooky mansions, all while facing strange, surreal enemies. The story follows a group of adventurers known as Expedition 33, who have just 1 year left to live. There's this enigmatic figure called the Paintress. Every year, she paints a new number, and anyone who happens to be that age, well, they vanish, just like that. Poof, gone, no warning, no explanation, just smoke. The team sets out on a mission to stop her and break the cycle of death. Along the way, they uncover the secrets of previous expeditions and try to figure out why the Paintress does what she does. The combat system is turn-based, but with a twist. They call it a reactive turn-based system. It includes real-time elements like dodging, parrying, and counterattacking, so you'll need to pay close attention to enemies' moves, almost like in Sekiro. There are 6 characters to play as, each with different abilities, stats, and gear, so you can customize your team how you want. The game also has non-linear exploration, where you'll use things like grappling hooks to find hidden areas and secrets left behind by other expeditions. With its beautiful art, fun combat, and interesting story, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 looks like it'll be an exciting RPG to dive into. And like a cherry on top, the game features a stellar voice cast with big names like Andy Serkis, Ben Starr, Charlie Cox, and Jennifer English, bringing the characters to life. The game is set to release in spring 2025 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S, and it will be available on Xbox Game Pass on day one. Let's journey to a land steeped in history, folklore, and a touch of supernatural horror. At number 3, we have Wuchang Fallen Feathers, an action RPG from Lindsay Games set in the chaotic late Ming Dynasty, specifically 1647, where the Sichuan region is devastated by war and a supernatural disease known as the Feathering. But what is this Feathering and how does it impact the world? It's something like a curse, a transformation that twists the flesh, corrupts the soul, and turns people into something monstrous. Players control Wuchang, an amnesiac warrior, as she uncovers the mysteries of her past and the disease spreading through the land. The game combines dark folklore with historical events, creating a rich narrative experience centered on unraveling hidden truths and confronting the creeping horrors that plague the world. Players will encounter both human and monstrous enemies, including grotesque bosses. The combat system is inspired by wuxia films and Souls-like mechanics, featuring a diverse range of weapons, from longswords to dual blades and powerful magical abilities. Players can seamlessly switch between weapon types and cast spells using the Featherweave system, which emphasizes fluid combat transitions. Each weapon has its own unique mechanics, and spells are earned by defeating powerful foes. The game also introduces a dual-wielding system, combining martial arts with elemental attacks. The combat feels akin to Dark Souls and Sekiro, offering a blend of strategy and reflex-based gameplay. The game focuses on exploration, with interconnected environments based on real-world Sichuan locations scanned for realistic detail. Set for release in 2025, Wuchang Fallen Feathers will be available on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S with day one availability on Xbox Game Pass. Alright, from the tumultuous world of the Ming Dynasty, let's journey back to a land of whimsy, adventure, and those quintessential British sensibilities. Coming in at number 2, we have the triumphant return of Fable, a reboot of the beloved action RPG series, now being reimagined by Playground Games, the studio behind Forza Horizon. Set in the magical and folklore-rich land of Albion, populated by eccentric characters, the game seeks to preserve the series' iconic humor and charm while incorporating modern RPG elements. So it's not just a nostalgia trip, they're actually putting in the effort to make it feel fresh and relevant for today's audience. While details about the story remain limited, the trailers suggest you'll play as a customizable hero navigating morality and destiny. The Guild of Heroes, a hallmark from the original trilogy, might return, though this remains speculative. Humor remains central, with Richard Ayoade and Matt King delivering memorable performances in the trailers. Combat features both melee and magic, with glimpses of archery, fireball abilities, and finishing moves. Early impressions hint at gameplay akin to The Witcher 3, emphasizing real-time action and tactical decision-making. Morality-based systems that alter character appearance and choices may return, but specifics are yet to be confirmed. Fable also promises a mix of legendary beast battles and quirky NPC encounters, aligning with its playful tone. The game uses the Forza Tech engine, renowned for its incredible open-world visuals, promising a rich and vibrant Albion. Fable is one of those games that's not just about completing quests and leveling up, it's about creating your own story, becoming a legend in your own right. And it looks like the reboot is going to stay true to that spirit. For those curious about the original series' impact on the RPG genre and why this reboot feels like a natural evolution, be sure to check out our video where we dive deeper into these topics. Fable is set for release in 2025 exclusively on PC and Xbox Series X and S. It will also be available on Xbox Game Pass at launch. The first Berserker Kazan is a single-player action RPG, releasing on March 27th for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. A spin-off of Dungeon Fighter Online, it tells Kazan's dark story of revenge and survival in a grim fantasy world. Blending Dark Souls-style challenges with anime-inspired combat, it emphasizes parrying, precise timing, and evolving gameplay. Expect brutal bosses, no difficulty settings, and incremental progress for every failure. Demo out January 16th on all platforms. And on the same day, we are getting another Souls-like called AI Limit. This is a post-apocalyptic action RPG that stands out with its anime-inspired art style. Set in Havenswell, the last bastion of humanity, players step into the role of Arisa, an immortal blader awakening in an ancient sewer. Guided by Asteria, you'll unravel the mysteries of Havenswell, battle enemies, and repair checkpoints, referred to as branches, to progress. The game's combat system blends fast-paced action with a unique sync rate mechanic, rewarding aggressive play and punishing mistakes, while also offering parrying, dodging, backstabbing, and blocking to create dynamic, challenging encounters. Players can wield up to 30 different types of weapons, modify them with action mods, and use abilities like spells for tactical depth. The game launches on March 27th for PC and PlayStation 5. Mandragora is a 2.5D action RPG blending Metroidvania exploration with Souls-like combat. The game is set in a dark fantasy world where humanity hides behind walls, surrendering to monsters. Players explore interconnected zones, battle deadly bosses, and use a witch lantern to navigate the dark realm of entropy through tears in the fabric of reality. Combat emphasizes strategic dodging and resource management with multiple classes and deep character customization. The story focuses on reclaiming the world from entropy's decay, and once completed, players can take on the game's punishing difficulty through multiple NG+ levels. Mandragora launches on April 17th for PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch. And now, at number 1 we have Kingdom Come, Deliverance II. The original Kingdom Come was a groundbreaking game. It set a new standard for historical accuracy and immersive gameplay. It definitely wasn't a game for everyone, but for those who connected with it, it was an unforgettable experience. The sequel takes players back to the richly detailed world of 15th century Bohemia, continuing the journey of Henry, the blacksmith's son turned hero, amidst a backdrop of political turmoil and personal growth. Set in 1403, the game builds on the events of the first installment, presenting a narrative that intertwines Henry's evolving role with the historic conflict between King Wenceslaus IV and his half-brother Sigismund. The story expands on Henry's rise, placing him at the center of Central European politics and war. The game refines its realistic first-person melee combat, drawing from authentic European martial arts. Combat remains technical, but is now more approachable for new players, with streamlined attack mechanics and improved systems for engaging multiple foes. Stamina and precision are still key, and the introduction of primitive firearms adds a fresh, albeit unreliable dimension to battles. The world of KCD2 is more expansive, featuring 2 distinct regions including the bustling city of Kuttenberg. This Gothic urban hub contrasts with the rural landscapes, adding to the realism and immersion. Towns and cities are scaled authentically, creating a believable medieval environment ripe for exploration. Quests and choices are more dynamic, with multiple ways to approach objectives, whether through diplomacy, stealth, or combat. That's why decisions carry weight, influencing long-term outcomes, character relationships, and the narrative's conclusion, which means that players can shape Henry's arc, steering him toward heroism or infamy. Character progression is overhauled with an updated skill and perk system, offering a more accessible yet rewarding upgrade path. Alchemy makes its return alongside the addition of blacksmithing, something fans have always wanted to see, further diversifying the gameplay. Slated for release on February 4th on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S, Kingdom Come Deliverance II promises a deeper, more polished RPG experience. With its historical accuracy, expansive world, and focus on player choice, it aims to build on its predecessor's legacy while inviting new players to its immersive medieval sandbox. And with that, I think we've come to the end of our journey through the RPGs of 2025. Before you go, don't forget to check the pinned comment for any updates or changes to the games featured here. And while you're at it, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss future updates. So what games are you most excited about? What trends are you hoping to see more of? Got suggestions or topics you'd like us to cover in the future? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for joining us on this epic adventure through the RPGs of 2025. So keep exploring, keep those dice rolling, and most importantly, keep having fun.